Hello. We're Aleph Talks and we're back again with prayers and signs. Yeah.
I guess I'll go first. So I'm reading Judges, and it's pretty intense. There's this guy called Gideon,
Yeah.
and because Israel after Joshua died, went back to their sinful ways and forgot God and all those kinds of things. And each time God was raising a prophet, each time they called out to him for help, he raised a prophet, and he raised Gideon. And Gideon was sent to take down all these towns because Israel was in the hands of the Midians or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds
familiar. For like 40 years or something like that. Yeah. They were like slaves. And so they called out, and then Gideon was raised. And he went and took down all these towns according to God. But like there was this cool part where they were marching with 300 men. Because God told Gideon to not take as many, otherwise people won't believe that it was God who took down all those armies for them.
Yeah.
And he told Gideon to tell his men to go drink water. And he said, those who drink it like this, bring the water to their face through their hands, take with you, but the ones who lean down and drink the water out of the thing, don't take them. And so that's how they were split up. But when he took the 300 men, his men were like exhausted, and he went to all these towns asking them to give them bread and stuff, and then God will look past them. And then they said no, and he said God will punish you for this, and then they all got punished for it.
Yeah.
And it was really intense.
That is intense.
And then he died, and then Israel went back to ignoring God and
classic rebellious state.
And persecuting Gideon's family line.
Right, Joe.
Yeah. I was like, oh.
In the Lord, you're 1,000 years blessed anyway, or 1,000 generations blessed. Who cares? Jokes. I wouldn't want to be persecuted by a town, but yeah. Because in this part of the New Testament, there's heaps of small books.
Yeah.
So I don't want to not talk about one book,
Yeah.
Even though I'm going to misinterpret the whole thing anyway.
Yeah.
Because I never say anything correctly.
Don't quote us.
Do not quote us. Yeah, so I finished Colossians. Oh, and Philippians.
Nice.
Philippians.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Philippians, it's just, I think Paul thanking them and telling them not to worry about him in jail or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
Because all the letters are from when Paul was in jail, I think.
Yeah.
And he's like saying, don't worry, I'm in jail for God's plan. I'm all good. There's this line, I'll just look at it. There's this line, and it's like, for me to live is Christ, and to die is gain. I think that was a cool one. Yeah. And Colossians, Paul's just general, here's how it goes kind of stuff. But 2 Thessalonians is the one, and it says, I think Paul's telling the church what's going to happen in the end days. Yeah. What's going to happen when Jesus comes back again. And he's saying that for that to happen, this bad thing has to happen.
Yeah.
With Satan and stuff. I don't know exactly.
Intense stuff.
Yeah, intense, but that part that I was telling you about where Paul says God's gonna delude all these people in their sinful ways. Don't quote me, this is definitely not from the direct text, but all these people in their sinful ways, make them believe in what Satan's doing as a way to condemn them from finding pleasure in the unrighteousness.
Yeah.
I thought that was intense. I don't know, I guess ignorance is bliss in that, because they don't know what's going to happen to them, so they're kind of just whatever, but they'll know when it happens. I feel richer for them though. Yeah.
Like, you can't help but feel wretched for them.
Well, first of all, there's God, and He's so amazing and great and stuff. And these people are so stuck in
their worldly ways.
Like, if you're sad all the time,
wouldn't you? I just don't get it. Like, if you heard about someone or a religion or whatever that could help you, and you have tried everything else, why wouldn't you try?
Yeah, why can't you just learn about it?
You just want to be sad, and that's part of learning when you're a Christian, is that you can't be stuck in your own self-pity.
Like grief and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just...
It's
idolatrous, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why God gives a set amount of days, really, that a person should be mourning. It's like a month or something like that.
I don't know.
Or 10 days, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because it makes... You're not supposed to anyway.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah. That's intense. Always learning new stuff every week, yeah.
Anyways.
That's what we learn.
Prayers, yes.
Prayers.
Wow. My prayer was answered yesterday.
That was intense.
Because I got a stuffed toy from the vending... What are those called? The claw things.
Claw machines.
Yeah, claw machine.
It was so intense. It was testimonial, man.
Literally, before I took my turn, I was like, hey God, I know you can do this. You can do everything. But can you just do this for my enjoyment?
I really want this.
Yeah.
I was praying really hard as well that you would get it, because it was your birthday.
Yeah. And then I got it. And also, you had tried like 2 times before me.
Yeah.
That was my first try for that specific toy.
It was awesome. We were like screaming that it got answered.
Yeah, there's this guy next to us who was like, oh yeah.
Like, it was so obvious.
Did I not just pray?
Yeah.
I wonder what Connor was thinking.
Yeah.
But like, oh, that's cool. That's so hooray. I don't know how you can ignore obvious signs. It just seems really obvious. But I guess if you don't believe...
It just seems coincidence. Like, if you believe in coincidence, then
everything's a coincidence.
Yeah. Which obviously, no. But it's so cool when prayers get answered. Like, sometimes you think, like, the longer prayers, like the ones that take a little while, you can't really tell if they're getting answered or not.
Yeah.
But, that
in hindsight, they always are answered. Yeah, whether it's a yes or a no.
Yeah. And that's where faith comes in as well.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta know, like, understanding that if you don't get it,
it's for the better.
Yeah, it's for the better.
I remember when I was talking to Alistair about how... Because, that time when I was praying to God about whether we should move or not, and then Jay was saying he wants to move.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, well, if you move, we have to move.
Yeah.
And it was like, right after I prayed, I went upstairs and it happened. So I was like, oh my gosh, God, you're yelling at me. I can hear you, okay? But I was telling Alistair about it, and he was saying that it's a mature thing to understand that things happen because you pray, not because it happens.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm saying?
Not because...
Like, it's not just a thing that coincidentally happened.
Yeah.
You prayed about it, and God heard you, and so He answered. And He also said, if you are praying earnestly, God's going to make sure you know He's answering.
Yeah.
Which makes a lot of sense, because if He did it in a roundabout way, for me personally, I don't think I would understand.
Yeah.
And since God knows us best, of course He would do it in a way.
He works in those ways.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, my prayers are kind of half and half.
Mm.
Sometimes, not my prayers, I mean, like, the way they're answered is kind of half and half.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes it's a little ambiguous, but I know because I've prayed for it and how the things turn out that it, like, makes sense.
Yeah. I get that.
It only makes sense when you pray.
Yeah. But sometimes it's hard for me to understand if it's being answered or not. Because, Satan does have power.
Yeah.
Not against God, obviously, but in our world.
Can mess with us.
Yeah, so he could be... It could be like a kind of temptation thing, I guess.
Yeah. Doubt is good, though. Doubt is really good.
Of course. That's what makes faith.
Yeah. Because I get like that sometimes. But for me, it's more like when I'm praying for myself to stop doing a particular thing or something like that, I feel like everything around me just gets super intense. Like Satan's trying to
make you do it.
Yeah, grab me before God gets to me. It's
a good thing that we understand that God tests us.
Yeah.
So that can just be part of his way to make us stronger in what we're doing.
Yeah, it can be really intense sometimes, but I trust in God, and he always pulls through with helping me with those things.
Of course.
When I was not wanting to be angry and being angry for particularly no reason, just because someone's annoying, I didn't want to be that way, and I stopped being that way.
Yeah.
But it took a little bit.
Of course.
Of effort as well. But it eased in. I always find that God helps me ease into it, and I don't realize until later that I've been doing it.
Yeah.
For a while. Or haven't, because I asked for not doing it,
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty intense.
That is intense. Also, on another subject related, there's this thing that I do often when I pray, it's like an actively, we talked about it last night, the whole, when you pray and you're like, oh, I know you can do it, but will you, kind of thing?
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah, it's when the doubt towards God creeps in, of his ability to do things. You kind of just sit there, with the claw machine, for example. It's I'm probably not going to get it right.
Mm.
Which kind of shows almost a lack of faith. But sometimes it just creeps in. It's not
Well, I've never doubted that God can do
yeah.
stuff. Obviously, because he made everything, so there's no way he couldn't do it.
It's a claw machine.
Yeah, he could turn it into fluid if he wanted,
Yeah.
But I'm always doubtful whether, especially for the stuff that I like, I'm doubtful whether or not God will do that for me just because there's no reason in particular to do it.
Yeah.
And obviously, because God's, our Father.
Yeah.
He wants us to enjoy stuff.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he wouldn't make stuff like manga and figurines and all that stuff. Let it be made. It would just there'd be no thought of it at all. But I think it's just a kind of I don't want to bother God kind of thing.
Yeah, I get you. Because I know we did a whole talk on it at H and Rage that time.
Yeah.
But it's about mindset. It's so hard to change because, I sometimes unconsciously avoid asking for things I want that have no particular purpose.
Yeah.
Besides my enjoyment.
Yeah, I don't want to just ask for something like I'm asking for my friend not to die.
Yeah.
But it just sounds... it feels like I'm being selfish, kind of.
Yeah, it's if it's not serious, it's not worth talking about. But God doesn't work like that.
No.
Yeah.
Everything is about... Well, prayer is about conversation.
Yeah.
And that's what relationship is. But, man, it's okay to be like that.
Yeah.
Because I think it happens to everyone. It's just not okay to not work at getting better at not doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
You have to be active.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a one-way relationship.
I guess that's kind of a doubt thing of God's power too.
Mm.
Where we're saying if we can't pray about it unless it's important.
Yeah.
Because why not? God can do everything at once.
Yeah.
So there's no reason that we can't pray for something stupid.
Yeah. Exactly.
But it's hard to... It's hard to think about it all the time.
Yeah.
But, when I get the stuff that I'm stupidly I always thank God for it.
Yeah. Like, for me, I always remember to thank God when I'm going to sleep, because I love the smell of the wind through my window. It feels fantastic. And just being able to lie down.
Yes.
Sleep is a blessing, man. Can't wait till we don't need that.
Yeah, that's going to be intense.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things that I pray for that I want immediate answers to. That's why I always ask you guys if I should do it or not.
Yeah.
Like, when I was buying Zorro,
yeah,
I was like, oh, should I though? And I was like, oh, I don't know, like it's $50. Like, then in my head, I was like, God, should I buy this or not? Like, just be like, tell Connor to tell me no. I don't know. Like, just
something, please.
Obviously, I want it, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna ignore you if you
Yeah.
tell me not to.
And sometimes it can be disappointing.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
You
if you want something.
Yeah. But, you know, God knows the best for us, so we just gotta keep moving forward with it, I guess.
It sucks being disappointed, eh?
Yeah, because, you know, I'm still praying about the figurine that I want, the expensive one.
Yeah.
But we'll see. And just keep praying about it and see where that goes. Maybe you'll find out in the next podcast.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned on our answered prayers. Segment 2.
Oh, here we go. There's too many prayers to talk about if we do a segment about answered prayers.
Yeah. But on the other side of ridiculous prayers for our enjoyment, there's the intense prayers for intense stuff.
The intense prayers for our life.
Yeah. Like, those ones often take a lot of time.
Yeah.
And it's hard to feel like stuff's not happening while you're in the midst of it.
It's hard to feel like stuff is happening.
Isn't. Like it's not moving forward. Like what you prayed for isn't.
That's easy to feel that.
Yeah.
You just said it's hard not to feel that.
Yeah.
You just said it's hard not to feel like nothing's happening. As in, it's easy to feel like everything's happening. Anyways. Yeah. It's hard not to feel like nothing's happening. No, here we go. It's hard not to feel like... Wait, what?
I think that makes sense though. It's hard not to feel like nothing's happening.
No, you didn't say that. I said that.
Oh.
No, you said it's hard to feel like... What?
Whatever. We'll just move on. It's hard not to feel like...
I lost it. I forgot the start of the conversation.
It's because we ended it and it just used our brain. Then we tried to grab it back, but it was gone. Sometimes...
Yeah.
It feels like what you prayed for isn't happening.
Yeah.
Because it takes... God's always got the perfect timing for things.
Yeah, of course.
You know, like... praying for... You know, CJ's ID.
Mm.
That felt like yonks.
Yeah. It was yonks. Right?
It was.
In our worldly, I don't know anything sense.
Yeah. But it got answered in the most random way. Like, I did not expect it to work at all.
Yes. And look what's happened after that.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
The intense prayers... Sometimes I have this like mini conversation in my head. Well, it's with God, but you know, you're like, oh, blah 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 blah, but that's not what I meant. That's not what I mean. You know what? I know you know what I'm thinking. You already know me.
I say that in my head all the time. Oh my goodness.
I think it's more for myself.
Yeah.
to remind myself that that's not what I meant. You know, like. But it's pretty funny, like, getting lost in those conversations with prayer and stuff.
It is funny.
And then you feel dumb for just sitting there for 5 minutes being like, no, not like that, yeah. But you know, yeah.
Like, not what my split personality said.
Not Patricia.
Not Patricia. Me. This is what I mean. It's crack up. Whenever I get stuck in that loop, I'm always like, but God knows, so just shut up.
Yeah.
Like, he's not...
He gets you. Okay?
He's not thinking that you're blaspheming against him.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah,
I get what you
whatever,
mean. Yeah.
Like...
But you have to, like, explain yourself so that you don't feel like you...
insulted God.
Yeah. It's like talking to your parent, you know, you say something and they're like, huh? And you're like, I don't mean it like that, I meant, you know, like this, you know?
But the thing, I just forgot to say that word, like, you
but,
know what I'm saying?
But then you get stuck in a loop because you're like, yeah, but God knows. You know what I mean. Finish.
Finito. That's it.
Done.
Yeah.
Yeah, along with prayers is like signs and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And what you talked about with Alistair, how, you know, and you mentioned it before briefly, just like people make the signs make sense for themselves. Or if they're signs at all, they make up signs if they need to.
Yeah, so they can get what they want.
Yeah. Like that example Alistair gave with the
British flag.
Like
if someone sees a British flag, they're like, oh, God wants me to go to Britain. Like, did you pray about it?
Ask first.
Yeah, like, did you even consult to God that you want to go to Britain?
Yeah.
Like, you know, of course God knows everything, but it's like me knowing that you have a secret, but wanting you to tell me first before we talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, why did you keep it from me, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or like, I can't talk to you about it because you haven't told me yet. It's like rude or something. I don't know what those etiquettes are, but you know what I'm saying. What I mean, is like that if there's something important that you wanted to tell me, but you're waiting for the right timing, but I already knew what you wanted to tell me, because I walked in on you telling someone else or something, you know, like you're random, you're not pregnant, but if you're pregnant, and you're like, oh, I don't know how to tell Kenzie. And then you weren't telling me, but I was like, node.
I knowed.
But I knowed about it. But I knew about it. And I was waiting for you to tell me. Because I can't just... It would seem like, you know, not adequate to just talk to you about it. And make it happen. And also, how do I know what you want if you don't even know that I know about it?
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of like God's position.
Yeah, like you're supposed to have a conversation about it first.
Yeah, I mean we know that God knows everything.
Yeah.
But if we haven't thought that He knows that we want that, then how do we know that He knows?
Yeah.
Because we've not thought about it. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay, guys.
Yeah. It's a kind of roundabout way to talk about it, but I think you get it.
We just don't want to mislead anyone.
Yeah. Yeah, but the signs. It's always really good to pray about things that happen, because you know it could be Satan trying to catch you,
or your own self.
Yeah.
I generally try to, when something happens, I either like thank God, or I'm like, I thank God obviously. If I liked it, then I'm like, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, but is this still correct? Like, should I continue with this?
I get that. When I was having that conversation with my classmates about the word homophobia and everything, there was a point where it went quiet, and I was praying. I was like, should I continue talking? I don't know, because I have trouble with understanding cues and talking and stuff. And they started talking about something else, and I was like, not doing that.
Either way, God knows what we interpret and how we can do it correctly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. God knows everything, so really
rely on Him.
It's whatever, yeah.
Just rely on Him for your answers.
Don't listen to us. Listen to God.
I know we're confusing, but out of all of it, our answer is rely on God, because He knows everything.
Read the Bible, because that's a good
Qualifier.
starting point. Yeah. Anyways. It's pretty, like, if you get it, you get it subject. So.
Yeah. It's just moving forward with it.
I think it's best to pray
All the time.
all the time.
Just about everything.
Just pray unceasingly. 1 Thessalonians. What was it? Yeah. 1 Thessalonians 5:17.
Somewhere in
Don't
there.
quote me. Actually, I'm just going to look to see if I actually got it right. Because I got a good feeling about this one. If I did get it right, that'd be my second time getting something right. Out of 12 podcasts. That's a pretty
intense.
pretty good percentage. Yes!
Nice.
1 Thessalonians 5:17. Pray without ceasing.
I feel like with the signs, right?
Yeah.
If you're not praying to God about them, I feel like you can get caught up, like, if you're still kind of new to it and stuff. Just caught up, if it goes wrong, in blaming God.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I was just thinking about it. I was like, because, you know, if that person who saw the British flag goes to Britain thinking it was God.
And then they become homeless. They're going to be
Homeless.
like, why did thou forsake thy?
Yeah, why did you send me here if I was going to be homeless? You know, I thought you loved me and that kind of stuff.
You sent yourself there, fool.
Yeah. Did you ever stop to ask God about it? No, you just packed up and flew there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that too. That is God has so much to worry about. Like,
Yeah. Well, there's so many of us, and we're all here just
sinning away, not a care in the
But
world.
to also think that it's also totally not outside of God's power to deal with 7 billion people.
Yeah.
And their faith. And all the activities that they do and their thoughts and their emotions.
Talk about multitasking.
Woo! I can't even think and talk at the same time.
Yeah, that stuff's woo. I get amazed. That's what, like...
It's okay to ask for a plush.
Yeah,
it's okay to ask for a plush.
It's okay to ask for a stuffed toy, okay?
Sometimes, like, even asking if you should buy lunch or, like, whatever. If you feel unease about it, then... pray. Just pray all the time.
And in the end, money's not a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a thing. But it's like, doesn't matter outside. When you die, you can't take it with you.
Yeah.
But we're not saying don't get a job or anything.
Yeah.
Like, money is important in the world.
Yeah.
Because
to survive and live joyfully.
But it's not more important than God.
Yeah.
And God provides everything, so what really is there to worry about?
It's like work and be content that God has gone before you to do.
And He knows... Oh, what's that verse? Okay, here's another misquote.
Yeah.
It's like, somewhere in the Bible, it talks about how God feeds the birds and stuff.
Yeah. So how much more will He feed you?
Will He, sustain you and stuff. And it's like, He knows the number of hairs on our head.
Honest.
In the world, it's impossible to really gather that, like, to count it.
Yeah. He knows the number of grains of sand on the earth.
Anyways,
like,
if that doesn't say how vast, how much
He knows.
And He loves us. So.
Yeah. Like to think there's all that, and yet He still loves us.
If you just pray to Him and not ignore what He's saying, then you'll do well, I think. Of course, you're still going to make mistakes because you're a sinner. Like, we're sinners.
I've made heaps of mistakes.
Yeah.
Felt like an idiot.
Yeah, I've made a lot of mistakes.
God, if you always turn back to God with all your heart, He'll forgive you, you know?
Yeah, anyways, it's good. Bye.
Bye.